Welcome, everybody, to the L7C podcast. This is Martin here, and today we are going to be talking some wrestling with my main wrestling companion, Jacob. It's kind of crazy because we both have a mutual friend in Mitch, who you guys have heard before, and then once we found out each other really liked wrestling, it just took off from there. So, Jacob, now that we're officially going, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm fantastic. I figured out how to set up my phone, so yeah.
We're going to talk about this weekend, NXT Takeover and SummerSlam. Both of us watched it, both events. So what we're just going to go through each match, what we liked, what we didn't like, if we liked the finish, didn't like the finish, and just our overall grades of the events. Sound good?
Sounds wonderful.
Okay, so we will start with NXT Takeover. We'll start with the first match. The tag team number one contendership. Breezango, Danny Burge, Larkin, Legado de Fantasma. What did you think of that match?
Honestly, I didn't even catch that match. I must have been on the pre-show.
Yeah, it was on.
And I didn't catch everything till the next day. So I'm going to let you handle that one, because that one I have zero notes on.
Got you. That match, I mean, it was what it was. I mean, with tag team matches, especially on the kickoff show, you're just like, it's the same formula that WWE runs. Breezango got the win, which I think they needed to get the win since they came back. There was a lot of aerial stuff. I mean, it was just a decent triple threat tag team. There's nothing more to really say about that one. Next, we'll go into Finn Balor versus Timothy Thatcher. Finn got the win in that one. What did you think of that match?
So, my first question, I'm watching this match, and I'm like, who is Tim Thatcher, and why do I care about Tim Thatcher?
He was the guy who came in with Matt Riddle because Pete Dunne couldn't come to the United States due to the coronavirus, so they had to find Matt Riddle a quick tag team replacement. And then that's how he got in. And then as Matt Riddle moved up, he stayed down here, and he's doing this big tough guy wrestling in dark gyms persona type deal.
Yeah, I know, his whole thing was he's because that's all the announcers kept saying. It was his ground game's so amazing, and his ground game's this, and his ground game's that. I'm sorry, Finn Balor. That match was just a filler match, and he deserves so much better.
Mm-hmm.
He really does. I'm watching the match, I'm taking my notes. I'm just it was just filler.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Finn got what? He had the most takeover wins.
Mm-hmm.
12 wins. Is it 12 or 13 wins now? I got 12.
I believe it's 12.
Yeah. I mean, which is, hey, that's awesome. It's Finn. But at the same time, I know when, Finn came back, he was kind of, trying to go back to the Prince of Devitt last rock and roller thing. So he's, trying to be, and that's something else, all right? So I've been paying more attention to AEW on Wednesdays than NXT.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Finn's kind of he's not 100% heel, but he's not completely face either. And I'm just I'm watching this, I'm like, who's your real face here, and who's your real heel in this? Which I came to realize real quick, that was a big theme throughout this entire weekend.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of blurred lines there.
Yeah, and with Finn too, when he came back when NXT went live, and that was a huge pop, and it was just he was positioned in a way that he was always going to be a top guy there. He was always going to be challenging the top person, and then sometimes he does, but then he gets sidetracked because someone interrupts his match, so then he feuds with that guy. So I feel like that's what he's just been doing. Anytime he's about to be the number one contender, someone screws him over, then he's feuding with that guy. Rinse, cycle, repeat. And you're right, he does deserve a lot better. I don't know if now they're going to put him back in title contention. We're just going to have to wait and see. But like you said, it was filler. It was all right. I would have only had a problem with it if Finn would have lost. That would have irritated me.
Oh yeah, agreed. I mean, I really think this is just, hey, right? I think they're going to end up doing something big with Balor down in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just going to be like, hey, you're just going to bide your time. So go do some filler matches. Go help these other guys out. I think that's it. I'm glad Finn got the win though. That was just a match though. That's how I rated that thing. It was nothing to write home about. It's a match.
Right. The next match that happened at SummerSlam was the ladder match for the North American Championship. And I think this was my favorite match of the night, besides the next match we'll talk about with Cole and Pat.
I'm completely agreeing with you on that one.
Because I feel like all of them in there, Reed, Grimes, Priest, Gargano, obviously, and Velveteen Dream, who he's going through his own things, which people were surprised he was back. I feel like there was a lot of action. I really liked all the interactions. I was really happy that Damian won, because he's always been that guy who's been so close, but just never over the hump. I know last TakeOver, he had a great match with Finn one-on-one. He lost, but it was showing like, okay, this guy can finally do it. And then you shared that picture with him, and that Triple H picture with him, and that was the greatest.
That's the best. That was a photo of the entire weekend.
Oh yeah.
As soon as I'm like, nothing's going to top this.
Oh yeah.
Him with the koozie with the champagne. Yes, that was amazing. That match was great.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that match. Cameron Grimes. So like Cameron Grimes comes out, and like I've seen him do a few things in NXT because he was on the debut episode when they went live.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, he looks different. We'll see how it is. And then like he just started talking,
mm-hmm.
and I'm just like, the hell is wrong with his voice? His voice does not match his body, his persona. I'm just like, okay. But I gotta say, he was so entertaining in
mm-hmm.
that match.
Mm-hmm.
Just all the little spots he was doing. I'm like, yes. I'm like, I can't get behind the voice. But I can get behind this guy. Like, it just, I don't know what it is about him. He's just entertaining to me.
Oh,
just super.
Yeah, he's something else. I think all of them did their parts pretty well. I didn't think that match was going to fail, especially when you got Mr. NXT Johnny Gargano in there. He wasn't going to let that thing go to pieces. And having 5 people in a match, sometimes we always see it as so gimmicky, but when it works, it works.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, I have Johnny Gargano and Velveteen Dream. I mean, they were just calling. I mean, you could tell they were the ones who were like calling the shots in this match.
Mm-hmm.
And they just made it work so well. Damian Priest, so happy he went over on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him in Ring of Honor when he was Punishment Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
When he came to NXT, I was excited to see what was going to happen there. There was a few spots in that match, though, that were just so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you get athletes like those 5, things can really happen.
Something it was little. I don't even know if you paid attention to it or not, but there was a spot where Velveteen, he threw a ladder, and it hit like that big like hockey plastic barricade they have around the ring now.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it just sounded so violent. And I'm like, that is so cool. Like, I am a fan of the barriers they have. I actually am. I mean, I'm a hockey fan.
Yep.
That just works for me. I'm just like, hey, you can bang on it. Like, it's great. And then you can literally just chuck a ladder at it. And if you're one of the, extras that they have in the crowd, and you see a ladder coming at you, even though it's hitting that barrier, that's still like, that's got to be such a cool visual.
And you brought up hockey with that too. I think that barrier does add that extra dynamic that you're talking about, because like heels can now get they can appear to be more violent with the fans, like the extras, because like if someone's booing them, they can start banging on that barrier, spooking them out and things like that. Like, it does add a new dynamic that I actually am digging really well.
But speaking about the crowd, what else in that match that got me on that one? So the crowd's cheering in there. Like, maybe it was just me. That stuff sounded very, very forced.
Yeah.
Like the "this is awesome" chants. Like, is there, like, they had to have a guy there like, hey, like with cue cards, like, this is awesome. And then, one person starts it and then, it goes around. But a lot of it felt very, very forced. At one point, I could have heard it wrong, but I heard like a Triple H chant in there at one point, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, especially it's always especially with the ladder matches. I could really see them doing hey, he's about to do a sweet spot off the ladder. You got to get ready for the "This is awesome" chant, or everyone's going to be down at the same time. You got to get ready. Like I could see someone not in our camera view telling them like, okay, when this spot happens, we go into the "This is awesome" chants and all of that. So I could feel that little forceness, which I feel like they didn't need to because the match was good. So
no, the match was great. I gotta say, it's probably my match of the weekend right here. That's just in my opinion.
Yeah. It was my favorite match with all the action and obviously the winner. But the next match I thought it was gonna suck. I really did.
Yep.
I thought it was gonna be trash, but I was wrong.
I think everybody was wrong on that. I think everybody thought the same thing that you thought, and I thought it was going to be horrible.
Adam Cole versus Pat. I'm just so impressed. I mean, I think the way that whole thing got there, it really spiced it up because we didn't know if that interview at the time was a work or a shoot.
No, because me and you were messaging each other the day that went down. I was like, "Is this real?"
Yeah, and I thought it was a work until Adam started saying the F word. I was like, "Oh, hold on."
You're right.
I'm like, "Is he really getting mad? Like, is this real?" And then he pushed the producer. I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!" And then when it led to Pat coming to NXT and all that, I'm like, "Okay, they got me. They got me real."
Oh,
real good.
I wish they would do like a behind the scenes of just building that match. That would be so amazing to do. I mean, the fact that the whole thing kicked off on Pat's show, like you said, when Adam dropped the F-bomb, it was, oh, this is real. Oh, okay. Because nobody drops the F-bomb. Nobody in WWE can drop that. I know going into this match, I don't know what your thoughts were. I really thought that Adam Cole was going to lose, and I thought Kyle O'Reilly was going to turn Undisputed Era against him. That was my pre-match thoughts. I'm like, this is the moment. Cole's going to go on and do his own thing. He'll probably go up to main roster. It'll be great. It is what it is. Oh, none of that happened. Shocked on that one.
Right. I agree. I didn't have the turn, but it's just the way that WWE does things. Anytime like a celebrity comes, I'm like, oh, they're going to win and it's going to really hurt. Like that, I was just like, oh my God. Adam Cole, who I personally think had the best 2019, and now we're going to go from that to losing to a punter who's never wrestled.
No.
But
hasn't wrestled.
Nope. But hell,
2 weeks to get ready.
Yeah, hey, that's what I was about to say. Those 2 weeks, I mean, I don't know what they were doing at that performance center when he was training, but he really impressed me. And the way that match went, I was like, wow, okay, Pat, you proved me wrong. You guys can do it. And that's really all I have to say. Like, it was great for a dude who only had 2 weeks. 2 weeks to all our knowledge. We don't know how far in advance this match was getting planned out, but story-wise, 2 weeks. And he's like, I'm going to hang with one of the best of them. And we were like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I liked in the beginning, Adam Cole comes out, does his entrance. But when Pat McAfee's entrance, when he starts off just dropping a promo in the back, and it's a good promo.
Mm-hmm. He could talk.
He's so good. Like, and he kept, just so much smack talking in the middle of the match, and I love that. I was like, whatever you guys are doing right now. I mean, Pat did. I mean, you're talking about how well Pat did. He did a drop kick, and I was like, that was really good for someone who's an outsider. So good.
Yeah.
I had really no complaints with this match. This one, I was tied up for the longest time. I was like, which match do I like better? The ladder match or this match. Because I was like, this is so good. I really have it tied. Like on my notes here, I have it like 4 out of 5 or a 4.5 out of 5, and I had the ladder match like a 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, yeah, you could go either or with both those matches, and the fact that they were like right next to each other, it was just like.
And I know later I'm going to be bringing this match right back up. I don't know if you can guess which match. When we talk about a certain match, I'm bringing this match right back up.
I bet.
Because Pat McAfee's coming back up in this conversation later.
All right, let's keep it going. The next match was the women's championship, Io Shirai versus Dakota Kai. Shirai retained the title. It was back and forth. But it was fine. It's like I never thought that Io was gonna lose to Dakota during this thing, especially the way she got the title by beating Charlotte and Rhea Ripley in a triple threat. I just didn't think she was gonna lose it this early, and Dakota didn't ever pose like she might lose the title to her type vibe to me. I don't know if you felt like she did, but to me she didn't.
All right, so this match, to me, this was just another filler match.
Mm-hmm.
This ranked, it was better than I guess I was more excited for this match than like the Finn Balor match.
Mm-hmm.
But this match was it just felt like a match. I think it would work better if she was champ and Io was chasing the champion. It would work so much better because honestly, what does Dakota Kai really bring to the table besides that Raquel Gonzalez?
Nothing really. I think her biggest moment is when she betrayed Tegan Nox at that NXT Takeover War Games because everyone was shook.
Yeah. I was just like, this is something that really irks me in this match was the commentators on this one. Because for the first 5 minutes of this match, you know what all they talked about was?
What?
Was WWE Supercard and how many cards Io Shirai has in a year and how many cards Dakota Kai has. And I'm like, that has nothing to do with this match. Like, you couldn't just plug it beforehand or you couldn't plug it afterwards. No, in the middle of this match, which is like women's championship match, I'm getting 5 minutes of WWE Supercard. I'm like, yeah, it's a decent little game, but I don't care about it. I don't care how many cards Io Shirai has and how many cards Dakota Kai has. That means nothing to me in this match.
Right.
Something else that kind of bothered me in this match. So Io did a 619 in this match.
Mm-hmm.
The 619 is going to become the next DDT.
Ooh.
Or the next super kick.
Yeah.
It seems like everybody's doing like a 619 or a modified 619, and I'm just like, nah. This was Ray's move. It worked for him. Why is everyone else doing this and it's not a finisher?
Yeah.
I know we don't have finishers anymore. That one kind of bothered me. Like I said, the Dakota Kai I don't think she brought anything to the table. I felt like, there's no chance she's going to win. Like, okay, she has Raquel Gonzalez. Who cares? The ending of the match was more interesting than the match itself.
What's Rhea Ripley and Gonzalez?
Yes, Rhea shows up and, has the face-to-face with Raquel. And I know that they're, booking Raquel to be like this bad mamma jamma. Do not mess with her. She's a super powerful person. I'm just like, I don't see it. I don't see it. Like, she does not put off that to me.
Right.
I'm just like, you're Tamina Snuka. Just like how they book her. Tamina, she's this bad person, once every 2 years they'll bring her up. You're like, oh, hey, you're in a match. You're like, oh, Tamina's still a thing. Okay. Like, I do not care. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen to her. Something needs to change there. Dakota Kai face Raquel, I'd be and have her go over. I'd be like, okay, Dakota Kai has got something. She could run on that. That's just my take.
I think the only problem I see with Raquel and Rhea, if that's the next feud, just what you just said, I don't know who, like, that hurts whoever loses. Because, I mean, to be honest, Rhea hasn't been really relevant since Charlotte took that title from her. Bounce back. But you just talked about how Gonzalez needs to be built as this big, badass, do not mess with woman. And the only way to really do that is if she stomps Rhea Ripley whenever they do that match. But then it's like you're hurting whoever loses real bad and setting them back. So, yeah, if they would have reversed way and just did what you did, and then I feel like that would have been a lot better. But now they're in a booking pandemic with, okay, who do we have go over between Rhea and Gonzalez? Because whoever loses, they're not going to be relevant for a while.
Yeah, they'd have to do it where it'd have to be a series of matches where at first, you think it'd only be one, and then you have like Dakota come in and screw over Rhea, and then Raquel gets the win. And, you go back and forth with that for a little bit and finish it off in a steel cage. That'd be hype. Yep. That'd put them both over.
Yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see on that. And then the main event, Keith Lee, champion against Karrion Kross. Two big dudes. I was not expecting the end result. I did not expect Karrion Kross to win the NXT title so quickly, let alone by pinfall.
Clean. Did it clean.
Like, clean. No, like, I was not expecting that. I was actually kind of sad because Keith Lee is actually one of my favorite wrestlers now. And it just felt weird because, I mean, Keith Lee's the one who ended Adam Cole's historic reign. He was a double champ. And then in his first takeover, he loses clean in the middle of the ring. I wasn't feeling that. What did you think?
I agree. I think you could have let Kross run another month, 2 months, and just let him destroy everything in his path. But I mean, just feed him, guys. Don't feed him like the fact that Ciampa, just get squashed by him in his first match. I was like, I don't know how I'm not sure if I like how this is going. But if you just would have kept feeding him people and slowly, worked it up, to Dominic Dijakovic, and then they turn to a Keith Lee, give Keith Lee, a 3-month run with the title at least. I mean, you can't have him be this historic champion and have him lose right off the rip. Like, I don't think this match, like, yeah, it really put over Karrion, but I feel like it just didn't do too many favors for anyone.
No. And then if he was able to win the title in his first title match, it's like going forward. I mean, there's still a lot of good dudes on the roster. You just brought up Tommaso. He's supposed to be coming back this Wednesday, which is funny how he wins the title, then Ciampa's coming back. And then you also we talked about Finn Balor at the beginning of this. And I mean, he could be a title contender. And if Adam Cole and Pat are done, which I don't know if they're going to be done, you could always throw Adam back in there. But this dude, I mean, it kind of gives me the, Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey fast track. You come in, do a couple things, you're champ, and you're going to be champ for a year until something happens.
All right, so do you want my bold prediction for how this is going to end?
Go ahead.
All right, so here's my bold prediction. Karrion Kross is going to run this title until Mania. All right?
Oof. Okay.
But in the middle of this, you're going to have him. He's going to face Tommaso, whatnot. But eventually, he's going to face Finn. And I think he needs to steamroll Finn Balor.
Oh, man.
He needs to obliterate him. Give it a good 5 minutes of him just beating the hell out of him. So you take Finn, the last rock and roller, persona right now, and then at Mania's takeover, whatever it's going to be, you have Finn come back and say, yeah, you beat me. You beat me, but you didn't beat the Demon. And have Demon Finn versus Karrion. Now that is a main event at a WrestleMania weekend I want to see.
That's That's some real good stuff because since he's been back at NXT, obviously Demon hasn't been seen because he's on the Prince stuff, but
Yep.
that would be a really good thing because he's like, yeah, he gets his ass whipped in that 5 minute thing, like a Brock Lesnar John Cena SummerSlam type match, and then
Yeah.
he's just like, all right, I got to come back as that, and that would be good. I don't. Do you think Karrion can carry NXT? I mean, for that long?
I think they can. I mean, kind of give him not the full blown Asuka treatment,
Mm-hmm.
but when Asuka came in, she destroyed everything, and it was wonderful. I loved it. Still love it.
Yep.
Don't give him the 400 some day run with the belt like Asuka had, but give him a good push where he's going to take on your top guys. He's got to face Keith Lee again unless they do something where Keith Lee's like, nah, I don't want none of that. But apparently his shoulder's separated too. So Wednesday could be very interesting because who knows, he could not be champion after Wednesday. He could be like, well, I have to relinquish the title because my shoulder's done screwed up.
That's true. And even with Keith, there's the thing that he's supposed to be on Raw tonight.
Yep.
So I'm like, then what was the point of him beating Adam if he's just going to drop it and be on Raw the next, I don't know if he's going to be Raw full time or if it's just they're going to bring him on here or whatnot. But that was just weird. And I agree with you. Just have him steamroll people. That'd be a great Demon versus Cross at the. And so, final thoughts on Takeover. I didn't think it. Thought it was okay, but I feel like it was the weakest one they've had in the past couple years.
I agree with that. It wasn't the best. It only had. I mean, Takeovers always have less matches than a regular pay-per-view, but they're always quality. Mm-hmm. Now, there were 2 matches that I was really excited about, or at the end of it, I was excited about, and everything else was just kind of a match.
Mm-hmm.
It was just strange times.
Right. So we'll
still liked it. Wasn't great.
It just was what it was. But then again, Takeover is always held to such a high bar because they're always the best pay-per-view of the weekend.
Oh, yes.
So, but we'll see. All right. Well,
SummerSlam.
Yeah. Going into SummerSlam now. We're talking about the SummerSlam match card that happened yesterday. Just before we go into it, this started at 7 and it was done at 10 o'clock. I mean, WWE's, maybe it's because of the no fans, but I feel like recent pay-per-views, they have been ending at good times.
Yes, they have.
We were talking about it last night, and when it was over at 10, we're like, okay, well, we're so used to these pay-per-views going past 11, 12, if we're lucky. But 10 o'clock, you still have enough time to be like, all right, well, peace out, guys. See ya. But we'll go into this. Pre-show, did you watch the pre-show match? Apollo?
I did watch the pre-show on this one. I was actually excited for I seen when they moved Apollo Crews and MVP to the kickoff show. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge fan of the U.S. title. I always have been.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to this match. I actually was. I was like, I don't think it's going to be a barn burner, but I think it's going to be a high, it's going to be a really solid match. That was my thoughts going into this.
And then Apollo got the win. Any problems with that?
No, I'm good with Apollo getting the win. Here's my biggest thing about Apollo. In the ring, he's great. He is next level in the ring. If you just let him do his thing, he's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. He's been in WWE for 6 years now.
That's crazy. I didn't even know it was that long.
Yeah, I had to look it up because his promos are still some of the worst things on the planet. Mm-hmm. He had that promo before the match started, and he's in the back before he comes and does his entrance or whatnot, and he says, the Hurt Crew or the Hurt Inc. or whatever their name is, they're irrelevant to me. He's like, but they're going to be watching. They're barred from ringside. They're going to be watching from the Thunderdome screens. I'll wave to them when I'm holding the the belt up high after I beat you. And I'm like, that is so bad. Like, what cue card did you just read off? It's so rough. I'm just like, how are you so good yet so bad? I'm like, I was asking Hannah. I said, how long has he been in the WWE? And she's like, I don't know, 4 years. I was like, I think it's longer than that. So like, I just Googled it, and he got signed in 14. I was like, okay, what happened? Like, put him with the. Is it the Hurt Crew or is it Hurt Inc. or
the
the
hurt business.
The Hurt Business? Like I actually think he would be great in there. I think he would have been phenomenal if they would have turned him heel and let him run with MVP as his mouthpiece.
Yeah, because MVP can
Because
talk.
that's all it is hey, these are guys that are good but can't talk worth a lick. Here's MVP. Go do your thing. Like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was just honestly, Leo, it was just a standard match.
Yep, standard kickoff match. The right person went over. Hopefully he does consider joining. That'd be a good little thing because I mean MVP can talk. He can talk anybody off with anybody. So that's really just all I could say about that. It was just like okay. Then the next match, SmackDown Women's title was Asuka versus Bayley. Bayley is about to hit a year. She's 300 something days as champion, which I didn't think they'd let her run with it like that, but I'm impressed. And then you got Asuka, and we both know how we both feel about Asuka. We feel like she's phenomenal. She can get in it with the best of them. Bayley got the win. I didn't see Asuka winning this one. I felt like Bayley's title reign is either going to end to someone on SmackDown or whenever the Sasha Bayley turn happens, if that happens.
It's a coming. It's a coming.
But I felt like it was a good match for what it was. How did you think?
Once again, I'm not a huge Bayley fan. I never have been. I feel like the Bayley, Sasha, and Charlotte show really gets just shoved down our throats.
And Becky now too.
Becky's at least having a kid. She's just out doing her own thing.
Yeah.
I did like how when she left, they gave the title to Asuka. I was a huge fan of that. Honestly, I hate, and good job to the heels because I hated it. I hate roll-ups.
Yeah.
I am so sick of how many matches end with a roll-up now. And it's just like, oh, it's a roll-up. Cool.
Two of them ended on a roll-up this pay-per-view because it was that match and what we'll talk about later, Randy and Drew.
I know. Complain about them both. Not a fan. I'm so sick of the roll-ups. They're just, hey, how do we end this match? I don't know. Throw a roll-up in there. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then they feel like, okay, you do the roll-up, no one got hurt because they rolled them up to win. They didn't pin them, yada, yada. But, yeah, I feel like you brought up they're known as the Four Horsewomen. I mean, especially these past 2-3 years, like, if you look at this pay-per-view card, besides the Mania-Sonya match, the only women who were on there were Bayley and Sasha and their opponent, Asuka. Like, it's like, if you're not a Four Horsewoman in the WWE, it's like, or Asuka, you don't matter.
No. Like, I'm a big fan of Lacey Evans.
Okay.
I wish she would just have like her and Natalia. I think they're great in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I'd do more with them. I'm just kind of sick of seeing the same people over and over. I say that as I'm also saying, like, I'm a huge fan of Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
It was, on 2 matches last night. But that DDT that Asuka did off the stairs was awesome.
Yeah.
That was the highlight of the match right there. When I watched that, I rewinded it and watched it again. That was awesome. I was such a fan of that move. The way they did it, that was my favorite part of the match.
She's fantastic. Like, she's the only one who, like, if she goes against one of those 4 women, you're like, oh, she could actually win this thing. You brought up
unless it's Charlotte. If it's Charlotte, it's an automatic loss.
Yeah, unless it's Charlotte, it's an automatic loss. I'm surprised she didn't come back from wherever she was at because I was getting nervous. I was like, oh, when Charlotte gets back, we're gonna get back to the status quo around here.
I have a feeling. Well, we'll talk about it here in a match or two. We'll come back to Charlotte.
Next, we're just gonna go into we're just gonna go to the other women's match, not the title match, because this Mandy versus Sonya, loser leaves WWE. I feel like the build up. Sonya's really shown me things on her own. I didn't know she was that good on the mic or like passionate like that by herself. But when we got to this match, to me, this was probably my least favorite match on the card. And I like both women, but man, there was a point in that match where Mandy was getting the table and she couldn't flip the table. And I'm just sitting here watching. I'm like, oh, this is going to be on Botchamania tomorrow on YouTube.
It took her 3 times to set up a table.
And
3 times.
And I don't get why it took that long. This is a girl who squats 400 pounds on Instagram, but you couldn't flip a table? Oh, it just looked bad. It looked bad.
You couldn't call Otis down to come down and do it?
Yeah. It looked terrible. And then Mandy won, which I thought she was going to win because Sonya's just been killing her these past couple of months, so she needed to get one. But to me, that's really all I have to say about it. Just that table thing really lost me during that match. I was like, oh, I'm done with this.
Yeah, for the stuff I got written down for that match, I mean, the first thing I seen was like, can they both leave? That was my first. I was like, how can we get both of them to leave? Because I just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just did not care. And another spot with that table. Now, it was the neatest part of the whole match was Mandy was sliding those chairs across the table like they were just glasses of beer.
Yep.
Here's something else. That match was a no DQ, match. There was like her setting up a table, which they did nothing with except slid 2 chairs across it. Other than that, there was nothing no DQ about it. I was like, why did we even have it as a no DQ match? You might as well just let it be just a regular match.
Right. I felt like with the no DQ thing, I was thinking because Sonya was starting to be, I guess, buddy with Miz and Morrison, they were going to come mess it up somehow. Then you get Otis and Heavy Machinery, and they're messing it up. I thought that was going to happen. But I felt like if they would have got me really intrigued since they made the loser leaves, they should have made that match an I Quit match.
Yes, that would have been so much better.
Yeah, so it's an I Quit match, and if you quit, someone makes you quit, you lose your job. That would have been perfect.
Yeah. Now back to Otis. The ending of that match when Otis came out, which I was like, oh hey Otis. Mm-hmm. Otis was the highlight of the match, and he wasn't even in it. Mm-hmm. He's just entertaining. And I kind of forgot all about him for a minute, to be completely honest. I was like, "Oh, hey, Otis."
Yeah, that was good. And then when Mandy started doing the worm, I'm like, "All right, I'm done with this. Let's move on." Like I was like, "Ugh, gross." All right, well, let's go into the tag team match. The only tag team on the main card: Street Profits versus Andrade and Garza with Selena Vega. Street Profits got the win. I like the Street Profits, but I was actually surprised they won. I thought Andrade and Garza were actually going to do it this match, but they didn't. Selena went down, and Andrade was tending to her, and Garza took the pin. What did you think of that one?
I liked the match. It was probably the second favorite match of SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. I was actually okay with it. It was kind of one of those things. If either team would have won, I would have been okay with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the Street Profits. But then you have Angel Garza and Andrade, who are they just work well together. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it was a good match. Kevin Owens on commentary is money.
Yes.
That I think he really helped that match actually with his commentary. Let's see. I don't know if you thought this or not, but I have written here in my notes. We were 3 matches in, and I'm so sick of hearing, Michael Cole and everyone keep going on about the frickin' Thunderdome. Dude, it was just, it felt just like a bad like radio commercial. I was like, oh, we're at the Thunderdome. This Sunday at the Thunderdome. Dude, that's what it felt like to me. They just kept going over it. I'm like, yes, I understand. I was like, this is cool. I like what you're doing, but you've mentioned it like 25 times now. Like, I get it. We're at the Thunderdome.
Yeah. I agree. There are times where I get they're saying their stuff to promote. I get it. But there's sometimes I wish they were really more focused on what's going on in the ring, like from a sports perspective, like break down to me what's going on in the ring. I don't need to keep hearing about the Thunderdome. I see it. I'm watching the networks. I already know about it. Like I get it. You guys control the network. You could literally have a Thunderdome commercial after every break, so you don't have to keep saying it on the.
Yeah, just say it like, hey, here's the Thunderdome. Our next match is the the Raw Tag Team Championships here at the Thunderdome. It'd be like, okay, you've made your point. Thank you very much.
Right. But yeah, it is what it is.
But I like the match. So
we'll go into the street fight. We'll go into that with his dad Ray and mom chilling in the back versus Seth Rollins with Buddy Murphy with him. This match, I had a lot of different feelings because I was like, Seth Rollins, who you guys have positioned to be one of your top peoples in a match against a 23-year-old who's having his first match. I know it's Ray's son, but I'm like, But then on my other side, it's like, well, it's Ray's son, and the only person he trusts with his son in his first match is Seth, or something like that. But I was like, eh. But, I mean, Dominic showed some promise. He did. But Seth got the win. It cost me some points in my pick'em, but that's all right. But, I mean, one curb stomp, we call it a day. Ray was chained to the rope, looking at his son just getting stomped, and I thought his mom was gonna run out and do something. She just stood there. I'm like, oh, okay, what type of mom are you letting your son get curb stomped? But
yes, I was thinking the same thing. All right, so my first this match, just starting out, I don't know if you realize this or not, Seth's outfit was awesome because it was an homage to Ray at the 97 Halloween Havoc.
Yep.
When he came out, I was like, oh, that's so cool. Because me being old now, I remember having that Halloween Havoc on VHS. And I was like, that's cool. I'm like, I can remember this because I was like, what's that? I was awesome. Hype. Now, Dominic came out. It looks good. Like, outfit-wise, for what it's worth. But I don't know if this bothered you. It kept bothering me so much. He had that hood on the back of his... And he just kept messing with it the whole time. I'm just like, cut the thing off. If I was Seth, I would have just handcuffed him, but like, all right, I'm going to take a box cutter and just cut this hood off because that's all you're doing is messing with this hood the whole time. Either let it stay up or put it down or actually just don't have it at all. That kept bothering me in the match. I don't know why. So Dominic Mysterio, in case you did not know this, in the first 5 minutes of this match, it was said 15 times that Dominic Mysterio, the son of Rey Mysterio, 15 times in 5 minutes. I'm not sure if that's the exact number, but that's what it felt like because all Tom Phillips kept saying. Once again, this commentary drives me up a wall, and I know they're just doing what whoever in the back is telling them what to say. But oh my God, I understand Dominic Mysterio is Rey Mysterio's dad. We've established this, and it's at the Thunderdome. We've established. Here now, I said this earlier. So this is Dominic's first match in the WWE against Seth Rollins, who's phenomenal. What was better, the first match of Pat McAfee or the first match of Dominic Mysterio?
Oof. I feel like I'm gonna have to go with Pat. The reason being is that Dominic, it was his first match and he's younger, but he's been more involved with the business, like wrestling, than Pat has. So for all we know, when Dominic was 16, he could have been running the ropes at his dad's garage.
Yep.
So I just, from that, and it might not be true, but from that, I feel like I'll give it to Pat and Adam. Plus, I feel like that build-up was just more authentic because I really thought they had real beef with each other. They still might, but
no, like just in ring. If you put all the other stuff aside, I still think Pat did better in ring than Dominic Mysterio, who is the son of Rey Mysterio. But I'm watching this match, and I'm just like, how is? Because you know they've been practicing this match.
Mm-hmm.
You know they have. And I know they said 2 weeks with Pat. And we both, can imagine it definitely was longer. But Pat seemed like he actually cared more than Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, I can see it. I mean, I don't know.
Then the mom comes out.
Yes.
At one point. And I'm thinking, oh, the mom's about to get involved. Okay, this is about to be real. And she just came out, and then this Ray comes up, like, hey, no, don't do anything. And that was it. That was it. What was the point of her coming out? You could have done anything else, and it would have. I don't think it helped the match at all. I just think it was just like, oh, hey, there's Dom's mom, who's the wife of Rey Mysterio, who's the father of Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah.
I think that one was kind of. I thought that part was dumb. I love the ending though. I thought the ending was great. Just reach, Ray, reach.
Yeah, and
then just curb stomping his son in front of him. I was a huge fan of that. What else? That's such a good heel.
Yeah.
I love the Monday Night Messiah. What he's doing is great. I'm a fan. I'm kind of sick of this Rey Mysterio feud at this point, though.
Yeah.
Like, we just move on to something else.
Yeah.
I really thought this now, like, going into this match, my prediction was Rey was going to screw this up for Dom.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a feeling like it would lead into tonight. Dom was going to join Seth and turn on Rey, and Dom would retire Rey at Mania. That was my prediction. I was like, that'd be kind of cool to see. None of it happened. His son just got curb stomped in front of him, which I enjoyed.
The only thing I could add to that is when the mom came out, I actually thought Dominic was going to win because I thought she was going to come in and kick Seth Rollins in the nuts. That's all I thought she was going to come do to help her son, but it didn't happen. But I don't need to add any more to that. I feel like we've hit.
Yeah, she would have done that. That would have been cool. I would have been like, oh, you got a whole family against you. You know? Mm-hmm. Nah, she's going to come out and be like, oh, okay, I'm going to stand here.
Yeah, that feud needs to end, and hopefully it's done. The next match was the Raw Women's Championship. Sasha Banks with Bayley versus Asuka. Asuka got the win. Those two have great chemistry. I mean, they both can wrestle.
Yeah.
I wasn't afraid that this match was going to suck. I knew in my head this match would be better than the Bayley match. But you said the comment, and even though I wanted Asuka to at least win one, but you did say the comment last night that now it's become the new death, taxes, Sasha losing at a pay-per-view, her title at a pay-per-view.
Yeah, first title defense, things that are guaranteed to happen in life. Death, taxes, and her losing her first title defense.
And you're right. Every time she wins a title, it's usually on Raw, and then she loses it as a pay-per-view.
Yes. Every time.
It's almost her own streak. How many times can she lose the title at a pay-per-view? Like,
at this point, they need to make a T-shirt. Just make a T-shirt out of it.
Yeah, they have to acknowledge it because it truly is what it is. But they had a great match. I mean, she tapped. I mean, Asuka's finishing moves a submission, so it was what it was. I think we were talking about it a little bit here that, is Bayley gonna like really try and help her, or is she just gonna sit back like, I won my title. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. But I mean,
yeah, I like this match better than the Bayley match.
Yeah.
The way they did the finish with the submissions back and forth and back and forth, I liked it. Other than that, it was just a more solid match. The whole like Bayley thing, like Bayley didn't take the bump for her.
Yep.
All right, so they're still the tag champions, but then next week we have Payback coming up, and they're going to have those up.
They're probably going to lose those. Maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say they got to lose them because it's got to build up to they're going to have a big match or something.
Mm-hmm.
I can see them doing something big at like TLC.
Yeah. I could see them both. I could see that as well. We're just going to have to wait, and I even forget who they're going against at the Payback for the tag teams. I don't know if it's been announced, or I just know the tag team titles are on the line at Payback.
I have no idea.
But hopefully,
I have the slightest idea.
Hopefully, the tag team does not consist. Even though I love her, it can't be Asuka, because then we're just right back to where we were before they took the titles.
It can't be Asuka because I mean Kyrie's gone now, so which just I don't know. Give it to someone else. Right. Give it to Natty and Lacey. They'll actually do something with it, or the Iconics.
That's true. It's like, yeah, you gotta do something fresh, like because
those titles are dead.
Yeah,
those titles are dead.
Yeah.
When was the last time you were excited about the women's tag title?
I liked it when Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross had them.
That was cool.
That was really the last time.
I like the last time I was like excited to watch like a women's tag championship match was the Iconics at Mania when they won them. Yeah. That was the last time I actually cared.
That was
like they need to do something because the women's tag division, it's dead. I do like the fact that Sasha and Bayley, they went to the NXT and
defended
that match. Yeah, against Shotzi and whoever the other one was.
Tegan.
Was it Tegan?
Yeah.
Yeah. But they need to do something with those. It'll be interesting next week to see what happens.
My only suggestion for the tag with women, actually have more women actually wrestle and care.
Yep.
That's it. I mean, you said the tag team division is dead. I think there's only 5 women who matter, and one's pregnant, one's off somewhere, 2 are here, and then the other's Asuka. Like everyone, like there was no other woman. Like besides, there was no one else on the card. There was no one on the Like they usually do that, like battle royal for women. They didn't even do that. It's just like, yeah, you guys aren't worth anything. That you don't even get a battle royal on the pre-show.
Yeah,
that sucks. Well, let's go into the next match. Drew versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. I was actually shocked this was not the main event, but now with hindsight, we know why it wasn't the main event and why it wasn't last. And I'm sure we both have some opinions on the last match, but Randy versus Drew. Randy, ever since they gave him back the punt kick, he's been on fire.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a cliche with all the wrestling fans, but it's like when Randy Orton really cares, you're like, oh, okay, this guy's really, really sweet. And I like Drew. I really do like Drew. I like his look. I like his moves. Like I really do like everything about the guy. So I was kind of conflicted because this was a match I was like, who's going over? Drew needs
Who do you think was going over in the beginning?
Well, for my pick'em, I picked Drew, but in my head I was like, oh, if he gets RKO'd, he's not getting up. Mm-hmm. I was like, I think Randy's gonna do it, but I was shocked. But I mean, it was a little back and forth. So Drew went for that Claymore. Randy dodged. I'm like, oh, it's over.
Yep. Like, here it comes.
Here it comes. Goes for the RKO. Goes into your favorite thing, a roll up.
Yeah. When it went to a roll up, we're just sitting there in my living room. We're like, oh, roll ups. Oh, okay. Claymore country. We do roll ups there. Cool. Good to know.
And in my head, I was like, oh, okay, they're going to have a rematch at Payback. Okay, whatever, that's fine. But I was like, at least Drew kept the title because I want to have him keep it for a while. But can we have just, if you would have pinned the heel, it wouldn't have mattered. He would have just got a rematch. Like, I don't know. I mean, it was tough, but Randy Orton's been punt kicking his way to this title, so I was all for that.
Yeah, I thought Randy was going to go over in this match because I was looking. I'm like, it's SummerSlam. I know Royal Rumbles where you set up all your Mania matches.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real. They set up so many matches normally on SummerSlam. So I'm like, how they doing this? I'm like, I was like, I bet Randy's going to go over, and therefore Randy's going to hold it till Mania, and he's going to face Edge at Mania.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah,
that was my thought going into it. I'm like, that's got to be what they're doing. Like, hey, Drew, you've been a great champion. It's been a good run. See ya. Welcome, punt kick country. But no, when he rolled him up, I was just like, no, that happened? Like, no, like I even have written down in here, I have a hashtag never saw that coming.
Yeah.
And then part of me was like, oh, come on, can Otis cash in? Like, I was like, I want to see something exciting. I was like, oh, we had Otis earlier. Like, oh, have him cash in. Why not?
One of the guys we were here watching, when he realized Otis was Money in the Bank, he was just like, the only title Otis is going to cash in is on the 24/7 title, because it's like, I don't know who he cashed in on. Like, I almost thought about that. Like, that'd be a way to, pick him to, swerve, Otis becomes champion. But I really feel like he's going to be the one person who goes the whole year and loses the Money in the Bank briefcase because he didn't cash it in time. I
think I said this when Otis won Money in the Bank. I said, this is their opportunity. Because honestly, I feel like I don't feel like the Money in the Bank cash-ins have meant anything since Seth did his. Seth doing his at WrestleMania was the last cool one. Now, I said earlier, I'm a fan of the U.S. title. Mm-hmm. I like the mid-card titles because a lot of the guys I like are mid-card guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is an opportunity to shine up a non-main title right now. Mm-hmm. I was like, could you imagine seeing Otis in, Heavy Machinery cashing in Money in the Bank for the tag titles? Like, never seen that happen. That's actually kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or, Otis cashes in on the U.S. Championship, or Otis cashes in on the Intercontinental Championship, or let's really swerve it and let's just have Otis cash in on the Raw Women's Championship or the SmackDown. Why not? Let's just see what happens.
No, with that's a good point with the women's one, because he could say he's cashing in for Mandy. Like, they could run that. They could run if they really wanted to. I mean,
I'm cashing on Mandy, opens it up, and there's like a diamond ring in there.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. You know how weddings go in wrestling; they never go well.
It's 2020. We both know it's the year of fun weddings.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't we both? But yeah. I was like, okay, we'll see what the rematch does. I like both guys, so. Well, the match that I did not think was going to be last, that was last. Falls Count Anywhere. Braun Strowman versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. I liked Bray's entrance. I mean, that was cool. I'm glad we're far removed from the days when they were making the whole screen red during his matches, because that was awful. And Braun Strowman came out. I mean, it was hard hitting, but for me, it was a little lackluster, because once Bray just started hitting his finisher, just kept going on that. I was like, oh, it's over. And then when he pinned him, before even pinning him, when Braun was cutting up the ring to get the padding off, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna get put through that, and he's gonna lose. And then Bray did his finisher like 4 times, something like that, in a row. And then
2. He did 1 Uranagi and 2 Sister Abigails onto the exposed wood.
Yeah, and then that was it. And I was like, what? My biggest thing, before we even get to the biggest thing, where the hell was Alexa Bliss?
Yes! Yeah, I say we save the last thing for like we're just going to treat it like a whole nother match in my opinion.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about this match right now.
Hmm.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss nowhere to be found. I don't know about what your opinion is on this one. It seems like anytime there is a falls count anywhere match, it seems like it always ends in the ring. Every time. I'm
Yeah.
just like I'm just like, okay, like we went outside, like they went to Gorilla,
Hmm.
and Bray threw Braun into the wall, and some guy turned off the TVs when they did that on both sides. Then they went back out. I did like the match. I expected it to kind of be slower. I expected it to be, where's Triangle and do like hard hits and finishers. I was like, that makes sense. It's the Fiend and Braun Strowman. I mean, I liked it. I'd say this. I think this was probably my favorite match of the night. This one and that Street Profits match. They were my favorite. But the whole like tearing up of the mat thing. Tommaso was like the first one to do that in modern WWE.
Hmm.
And it seems like it's just getting overused. It's becoming a DDT. It's becoming a super kick and a 6-on-9. It just seems like more and more people are doing this, and it's just becoming less and less impactful.
Yeah, we're gonna show you like this is a real hard hitting match. We're gonna take off the padding and someone's gonna get really slammed on the thing, and I'm like, okay, well he's taking it off. I was like, oh, then he's gonna be the one who gets hit by it. Like we know how that
Yep.
goes. You get the table, you're getting put through the table somehow. But yeah, but no, it was good. I there was no doubt in my mind that the Fiend was gonna win. This is a guy who, I mean, from that debacle at Hell in a Cell with Seth Rollins to the debacle in Saudi Arabia with Goldberg to, I was like, yeah, he needs to get the title back. But that might only be lasting a week.
Yeah. As it turns out, it might only be a week. Because I was like, 1, 2, 3, the Fiend wins, and I'm like, hey, all is right in the world. I'm happy with it. And then, oh, son of a bitch.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen, it happened. Roman Reigns is back.
The big dog.
The big dog, his yard. The guy who did not compete in WrestleMania because of coronavirus concerns, gone for a bit because of those concerns. He just had those twins. And then no one's, I guess the tagline for SummerSlam was foreshadowing that he was coming back because that is the last person we would think would be coming back right now. If you remember back in like April, there were talks like Roman Reigns mad at the company. Is he going to leave? And we were like, come on, guys.
You're not that lucky.
Come on, guys. And out of nowhere, this dude comes out, spears Bray, spears Braun, starts beating Bray with a chair, grabbing the title, telling him he can never handle the responsibilities. He's just some dude in a mask. And then the end shot of SummerSlam is Roman Reigns holding the title, and that's the last thing you see. And then everyone watching, we are all like, oh boy, coronavirus is about to be over because we're going back to status quo. It has to be over because Roman's back. He said he wasn't coming back till he felt safe, and SummerSlam, boom.
Oh, I was not happy. I wasn't. All right, so it seemed like everyone all over the internet is this heel? Is this heel Roman or is this face Roman?
I think they felt like it was heel Roman because he was smacking Bray with that chair, but technically if Bray was a heel and Roman smacking him with a chair, wouldn't that make Roman a face because he's beating a bad guy with a chair? Or is he going to, like, and then he was saying, you don't know the responsibilities of the title, blah, 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 and then holding the title up, and then his new shirt, wreck everyone and leave, which I actually like that tagline. I actually do. If that was someone else's shirt, I would have already bought it, but I can't do it. I can't do it with him, but I don't know. They're saying he's heel, so I guess we won't really know till his first promo on Friday because he's back. So God bless every male on SmackDown. You had your time in the sun. Your time's up.
It makes sense because, you know me, I'm such a huge Bray fan.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, anytime something good happens to Bray, you know something horrible,
Mm-hmm.
some horrible booking decision is right around the corner that it's just going to raise my blood pressure. It's like, okay, I should have seen it coming.
Yeah, it's just, but you did it. That was the
Hashtag
tagline.
didn't see it coming.
You'll never see it coming. That was what they were referring to, and we were just all shocked. Is this really? I was when he held that title. I said, "Damn, Bray, you're really about to have that title from Sunday to Sunday, and you're gonna lose clean in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. Roman's about to hold that title at least till Mania or the Rumble."
Yep. Roman. Well, here's something else that really confused me about last night. Where was Retribution?
To be honest, I thought they were going to mess up the Randy and Drew match because I couldn't pick a winner. What better way than a no contest with Retribution messing it up?
I was like, well, wait, they've been pushing, Retribution for a few weeks. I still don't understand the point of Retribution.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. Like, hey, we're here to cause chaos. Like you're like a worse version of Sanity.
Well,
congratulations. Like, I don't get it. You tore up a ring. You flipped a car and we're hitting a car. Whose car? I have no idea. Why do I care? I don't. Congratulations. Like, where was Retribution?
oh, dude, they couldn't show up. Roman's back. He scared them all away. Like, that's done. That's over with.
Is that whole angle just done now? Like, Roman's back. Oh, Retribution's gone.
Yeah, when Retribution shows up during Roman's promo on Friday and they all get speared to next week, he killed them. They're like, oh, yeah, they're not coming to his yard. We know how this goes. Roman's a dude who can fight 20 people at once and still win.
Maybe Retribution's coronavirus.
Maybe, or maybe they were Roman stooges that he was just prepping everyone for his return. Maybe he's the ringleader of Retribution. That'd be an angle.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, was it heel Roman? Was it face Roman? Because during the Fiend match, I really didn't know who was face and who was heel. I just wanted Bray to win.
Yeah.
And it seemed there was something else in the comments. Did Roman? I don't know if he got new teeth or what.
Yes, he did. Because Randy Orton was blazing him on Twitter, posted a picture of coming
Brian
back
from
teeth.
Family Guy.
Oh man, yeah. I said, man, this is what you've been gone for like half the year for, getting some teeth. I know for the virus, but he can come back with
some dentures.
Yeah, you came back with some teeth, but I was like, okay. But that was the SummerSlam card. It was what it was. I mean, the biggest thing that everyone's talking about, I guess, and rightfully so, is Roman Reigns' return because no one saw it coming because he said he wasn't coming back until he felt safe from coronavirus. So obviously he feels safe, or his family needs the money. Who knows?
His family's set. He ain't got to worry about money.
That's true. So that was it. That's it for the first L7C podcast wrestling edition. We're definitely going to be coming back on a lot more in the coming weeks, and it's going to be a thing. We're still working on the schedule if we want to do bi-weekly wrestling or how we want to do it, talk about what's going on in AEW, WWE. Jacob's the one keeping up with AEW more than I am, and I'm the one keeping up with WWE more than he is. So it's a perfect match.
It's a beautiful thing.
So we're going to have to see. And we have a lot of topics. I mean, this is wrestling, and this is only our first one. We could go into the Mount Rushmores. We could go into hypotheticals. There's one question I do want to tackle with Jacob in the next one about what Triple H said to Ryback. I know we talked about it in our messages, but is there some real truth to that? But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed our wrestling podcast, and we're gonna be back soon. Jacob, you got any final thoughts for everybody?
No, thank you for having me on. I've thoroughly looked forward to this for a week now, and I've paid more attention to wrestling, and actually I took more notes yesterday than I took for my entire college career.
Oh, so yeah, it's great.
So I'm so happy to be here. I love this stuff. So
yeah,
we'll be back.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.